This is TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast, and the State of the Saints podcast is brought to you by Manscaped.com. Over 2 million men worldwide choose Manscaped for all their below-the-waist needs. For those that love the Lawnmower 3.0, well, I got news for you. The Manscaped engineering team has confirmed that they have successfully created the Lawnmower 4.0. The Lawnmower 4.0 gives you the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave. The new trimmer even allows you to customize your trim all through additional guards lengths, sizes 1 through 4. And looks-wise, it's sleek with a two-tone matte and gloss finish, even features a hot foil stamp, black chrome Manscaped logo. Show your mower off loud and proud. Go to manscaped.com, use the promo code State of Saints, and you will save 20% off of the Lawnmower 4.0 as well as other Manscaped items. That's manscaped.com. Hey, what's going on, Who That Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. Thank you all for tuning in on a Friday evening. This is going to be a very quick show. I mean, probably going to be one of the quickest shows we've had in a very long time. But I did want to talk to you all a little bit about Jarvis Landry and also your questions and take some of your comments. So thank you all so much for being here. Jarvis Landry, as you all know, has become a new member of the New Orleans Saints, and he has now taken part in Saints OTAs. And, you know, Jarvis Landry has really been making an impact since he has shown up and hit the field. He's been making plays out there. He's been jawing off with some of the players out there, and he's also left people's jaw drop with some of the one-handed catches that he did. Jarvis Landry, I mean, it's absolutely no surprise what this dude can do. I mean, we all know what he can do. We've watched him probably since he's been in high school. For some of us, we've seen him, go to LSU, get drafted into the league by the Dolphins and play for the Browns, and now, for the New Orleans Saints. So it's no surprise what this dude can do. We're just excited as Saints fans to actually see this dude actually put that work in. Jarvis Landry talked to the media, and he talked a little bit about what influenced him to come to New Orleans. And one of those things that influenced him was quarterback Jameis Winston.
It's one of the reasons why I came here. Just the conversation that we had, the intent that, he's putting behind the things that he's saying, and obviously out here on the field, what you see is what you get, I mean, look, I don't see nobody else out here, and this guy's the last one, and that's who he is, and that's something that you want at that position and a part of your team.
Yeah, so as you can see, Jarvis Landry is excited to play alongside Jameis Winston. I think Jarvis understands that Jameis Winston possesses a certain skill set, and I think that he understands that Jameis has a lot of promise, and the sky's the limit to where Jameis Winston can take the New Orleans Saints as their quarterback. One thing that I admire about Jarvis Landry, there's been a lot, and I do mean a lot, of people talking about the number 2 wide receiver position. Everybody talking about the number 2, the number 2, the number 2. Jarvis Landry has come to camp, and he does not carry himself, nor does he feel like he's a number 2 receiver. And he even mentioned that. He talked a little bit about that, like, it's up to Pete Carmichael and the offensive staff in order for them to try to find ways to be able to distribute the ball between all of the talented playmakers that they have. He does not look at himself like a number 2, and that's a good thing. You know, a guy that comes in that thinks he's a number 2 is probably a number 3, all right, or even a number 4. You have to carry yourself with a level of confidence to say that regardless of what the depth chart says, I am the number 1. I am a key component to the success of this team, and he has done just that. And that's something that I admire about him. It's going to be interesting him competing in camp. He talked a little bit about Michael Thomas and talked about the relationship they have. Him dating back when Michael Thomas was in high school, and it just seems to me like this guy wants to compete. Michael Thomas, I expect for him to come out there and compete. Understand that people are completely and utterly frustrated with Michael Thomas or the lack of transparency. I think that's the biggest case. It's just the whole transparency thing. The fact that nobody's even saying anything. He's not out there and nobody's really acknowledging it at all. I don't have a problem with him not taking part in OTAs. Training camp is just around the corner. I think if he wasn't taking a part in training camp, that would be a little bit alarming. But OTAs, I'm not really too concerned about that because you do have some other guys that are not there. Guys like Lattimore, guys like Kamara, Mark Ingram is not there. So, and also Taysom Hill isn't there. So there's some guys that are not available, but it's just the fact that Michael Thomas, everybody just chomping at the bit to see him play and for him to answer the question, is he healthy or not? But in the meantime, it has been fun to watch guys like Jarvis Landry, guys like Chris Olave, seeing those guys on the field and making plays and also developing chemistry with quarterback Jameis Winston. So that's all I have to say about that. I'm going to go ahead and take some of your questions and comments, and we'll just go from there. Shouts out to everybody in the chat. Really do appreciate it. Shouts out to Tim. Thank you very much for the $5 donation here. It says last time a Saint had a one-handed catch, Johnny Depp was still playing Jack Sparrow. Johnny Depp, I should say. Johnny Depp was still playing. I said Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp was still playing Captain Jack Sparrow. Shouts out to Johnny Depp, getting that Skrilla, what I'm saying, for that defamation. But yeah, man, it's been a minute. But nah, man, Michael Thomas, he came in 2016. But I guess, Pirates of the Caribbean was out at that time. But yeah, man, it's good to see some guys making some plays, man, and plays, guys that are making plays outside of Michael Thomas. I mean, Marquez Callaway had an incredible catch in preseason against Jacksonville. But, the guy that's capable of making plays down in, down out, it's great to see. Great to see. Feature Matthew and Landry. Let's see. Who that fam? Tyra says, who that to you, TJ? Thank you. Who that to you, too? Domino Effect says, who that? Quick show. Yeah, man, it's going to be a quick show, man. It's Friday. It's Friday, and I know everybody want to relax. Some people want to go and hang out, and, and also, I just want to spend a little time with Paxton, man. So it's Friday to talk about this, but do want to get some of your questions and comments in the meantime. Juice feeling Winston. Well, it's because of it's what Jameis is capable of. The capabilities of Jameis Winston is very appealing now. I think that a lot of guys like the New Orleans Saints organization, but at the time, when the Saints was having all this success, I think the fact that Drew Brees was the quarterback really hindered a lot of guys with certain skill sets from coming to the New Orleans Saints. Not that Drew Brees was like, man, I don't want to play with Drew. I mean, Drew is a legend, but Drew's inability to get the ball down the field and make all the throws, it did not make the Saints the most appealing. I ain't gonna say it didn't make it appealing, but it didn't make them the appealing destination place. But now you have a guy like Jameis Winston with the ability to make all the throws. You're gonna have some guys that are really extremely talented that possess a wide variety of skills. Looking at the New Orleans Saints, and you're going to see more interest in the team, especially if Jameis has an outstanding season, which a lot of people think that he will. So I think that Jarvis Landry joining the team might be the start of possible other free agents joining the squad. Because guys want to believe that they can win. They want to feel like they can win. They want to feel like they go into the postseason. They got a shot at the championship, right? I mean, Drew Brees gives you that, but a lot of the times, Drew inability to get some of the playmakers the ball at certain times really cost the Saints or made some of those playoff games closer than what they had to be. So you're probably going to see more free agents actually pull up to the Saints facility and giving the Saints an opportunity to make a pitch for them. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing right there. I was telling other people that are on this podcast, I don't know what we're talking about here. Juice footwork at the top of his routes are eye popping. Yeah, man. I mean, he has really good footwork. And watching him and Michael Thomas, man, I don't care. They'll never admit this to each other, but it's like they mirror mirrors of one another. And I don't think it's a coincidence. I don't think it's a coincidence that the New Orleans Saints signed Jarvis Landry. It's going to be interesting, man. It's like watching. I'm telling you, man, it's like watching Michael Thomas twin out there. Or, they're virtually identical. Except I think that Jarvis Landry may be a little bit faster than Michael Thomas. I'm not sure. Why doesn't the media believe? What media are we talking about? We talking about local media, national media. As far as the national media, I don't care, and neither should you. I don't think the media really knows what's going on with the New Orleans Saints. A lot of the time, I feel like it's just storylines that they capture that are pretty much mainstream. It don't even be the case anymore, but it's just the fact that, they really don't know that much about the team. So they kind of hang on old news and let them talk, let them talk and let them be skeptical. It's just up to the New Orleans Saints to make those plays. It's up to the New Orleans Saints to win those games in order for them to be considered one of the top teams in the league. I mean, as long as they do that, they'll be just fine. Chosen says everybody gonna be bringing out their best. That's what we need. Iron sharpens iron. Yeah, I mean, competition is extremely important. One thing that you don't want is for your team to become stagnant. You don't want a bunch of you don't want people to be stagnant, players to be stagnant. You want these guys to be on high alert. When I hear about some of these undrafted, unproven guys making plays, it's always a plus because some of these veterans need to get their foot put in the fire. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they need to have their head on a swivel in order for them to understand the seriousness of it. I think too many guys feel like their spots are solidified. I truly believe in competition, and I hope that this competition and all of the talented players that they have bring out the best in one another. Because if they bring out the best in one another, then when they go up against other opponents, they should be ready because, they seen special players every time they have a practice. So it's kind of hard, and no disrespect, for a guy to be playing at his highest or at his best, lining up against Traquan Smith, like you going up against Devontae Adams, you're going up against Jamar Chase, you're going up against Justin Jefferson, and no disrespect to Traquan Smith, I wouldn't put him in that category. But to have guys like Jarvis Landry and Michael Thomas and Chris Olave, and you're a defensive back or you're a safety, you're getting the best of the best every single practice. So when you go up against some of the best and stiffest competition, you should be prepared for it. So should be great. Trader media wants to believe we're the ancient saints. That's what they want others to believe, not us. I mean, we know it's not the truth, but they want others to believe that way. So let them do that. Receivers want to play with quarterbacks that make them look good. Mike T sat out and OBJ didn't sign last season because Jameis Winston went down. Yeah, because guys don't want to feel like they're wasting their time. And especially for guys that are on prove-it deals. Michael Thomas doesn't fall into that category. But Michael Thomas also doesn't want, and I can't say I blame him, if this was the case, if he did decide to sit down for an entire season. Now, some people would say, well, that's a quitter's mentality, but also, man, you got to look at it from a business standpoint as well. you got to look at what's best for you. People were mad at Odell Beckham Jr., for not joining the Saints, but look what happened in the end result. I mean, he won a Super Bowl with the Rams. So sometimes, it may not be the most popular decision to some, but it may be the best decision for you. So guys want to be able to make plays. Guys want to be able to put themselves in positions to capitalize on their skill set. And they want to go to teams that's going to make them, like you said, look good, Alpha Sports. Nobody wants to just be sitting around here wasting away like some old toys on the shelf, right? They want to be able to go out there and utilize their skill set in order for them to be named in the upper echelon of talented players around the National Football League, and also possibly solidify themselves in the history of the National Football League and head to Canton one day for a gold jacket. But you don't get that if you have guys that with mediocre talent, little to no talent playing a quarterback position. Like, you're not going to get that. And 9 times out of 10, you're not going to solicit the help of any top free agent if you're not doing what you need to do at the quarterback position. Already read that one. Jarvis Landry looks faster than his 40 time. Well, I mean, some guys, they look more explosive. And, I think he's just an explosive player. I think he gets off the ball really good. You know what I'm saying? Like, he runs routes really crisp. And he's a guy that can catch those tough passes. If I'm being, like, truly honest, like, I say him and Michael Thomas are similar. Yeah, I look, they look identical when it comes to route running. But if I can compare Jarvis Landry to a guy that I watch quite often in the National Football League, he reminds me of Dez Bryant. The guy that can go out there, get those 50-50 balls, get those contested catches, and also, be able to, get those yards after the catch. Now, he's not faster than Dez Bryant. Dez Bryant was fast. I mean, he ran like a 4.3 or 4.4 coming out of Oklahoma State. But the physicality that he plays with, the smoothness, of his routes, it reminds me of a young prime Dez Bryant. You know what I'm saying? That's who he, kind of favors to me. Who cares about the media? My point exactly. No cheese in the locker room. Diogo, who that? Saints don't need a wide receiver. Saints need offensive guard, maybe 2. I mean, you can never have too much offensive line help. Guys go down all the time. The guard position has been hit over the last couple of years. Guys have not been there. Cesar Ruiz been there, but he hasn't been there. I mean, let's just be real. I think that this is a make it or break a year for Cesar Ruiz. But the good thing about it is you got guys like Landon Young, a guy that came out of Kentucky last year who played in a game. I think they're going to be competing, him and Cesar Ruiz. Andres Pete, I think what the Saints are going to try to do offensively this season might be helpful to Andres Pete. Andres Pete is a much better run blocker than he is when it comes to pass protection. I just think that people just automatically assume that the New Orleans Saints are going to be throwing the ball all over the place this season because of all the talented receivers they have. But I think the Saints are really going to be a physical football team, and I think it's going to start with the running game. So I think you're going to see improvements in the offensive line, because offensive line, to tell you, and shouts out to Saints great Zach Streif, former right tackle. I remember the conversation me and him had, and he was talking about how offensive linemen love to run block more so than pass protect. So, these guys, rise to the occasion when it comes to run blocking. So I think you might see a better outing from Andres Pete this year. But Cesar Ruiz, the jury is out. But it's good to know that they have somebody that is going to compete with Cesar Ruiz. And I don't think it's going to be one of those cases, oh, well, Cesar Ruiz is a first-round pick, he's going to automatically start. When teams start to get new head coaches, they look at it like, man, that's not my guy. Like, I didn't draft him. I'm going to have this guy competing. I mean, it's even with Adam Troutman. I heard Dennis Allen talk about him, but you can tell Dennis Allen wants Adam Troutman to succeed, but the way that he talked about him as if, he left a lot to be desired. And if a guy leaves a lot to be desired, then let me tell you this: more than likely, their spot isn't solidified. So to get those guys, some players to compete with them and see if it brings out the best in them, and if it doesn't, then go in a different direction. National media still talking about the Lakers during the finals and the whole NBA playoffs. That should tell you all you need to know about the national media. Yeah, it's not about getting it right. It's not about the It's not about uh, any of that stuff. What it's about is it's about things that they feel generate ratings. It's the battle of the sponsors. They want those sponsors. They want that money from those sponsorships. And talking about LeBron and talking about the Cowboys and talking about all these other high profile athletes. They feel like that's going to attract attention, and maybe it does. Analytically, maybe it does, but um, I just feel like sometimes what they do is they criticize teams like the New Orleans Saints or some of these low market teams, as they may think. They talk about those guys in a bad light to give them like an explanation not to talk about it. So it's like, oh man, why are we talking about them? We wasting our time. Let's get back to talking about LeBron. But like you said, it tells you everything you need to know, man. You know, this isn't about who's good and who's not. It's about what attracts the audience, the biggest audience. 110 of y'all watching, only 35 likes. Smack the like button for TJ. Who that TJ, and a great show like always. Love to hear that Jarvis wanted to come home because of Jameis Winston too. Hooded Drew, thank you very much for the $9.99. Yeah, and everybody here, man. Right now, we have 171 people watching this right now. I ask that everybody just hit the like button. Thank you to those that donate. Appreciate that as well. But just go ahead and hit that like button. And if you have not subscribed already, please subscribe. I'm going to take a few more, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Like I said, it's going to be a quick show this evening. It says Saints going to silence critics. Jameis will silence the critics and put in a clinic all season. 14-3 confirmed. Well, look, I'm just hoping that Jameis Winston has a really good season. I would love to see Jameis Winston, quiet the naysayers who have been on this guy and been critical of him since he's been with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And finally, he'll be able to, be the quarterback that he knows and we know that he can be. The Saints' future is really relying on that. The Saints expect for him to go out there and put up big numbers and help this team win. And hopefully that can be the case. Ravens fan here showing you Saints some love. Jeremiah, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Jeremiah also says, I know it's Ravens wanted Landry, but the Peter thing wasn't going to allow it. But the Peters thing wasn't going to allow it. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, he would have that would have been a perfect skill set for for Lamar Jackson, the guy that can catch that ball in between, in between 5 yards and stuff like that with the quick slants and the short intermediate routes. That would have been a good fit for him. But hey, man, I mean, there's a lot of talented players for the Ravens, and it should be interesting to see how that's going to pan out, especially with Lamar Jackson. I can see that zip on the ball from Jameis into our receivers' hands. I called it. Yeah, I mean, look, it's only going to get better. And I think that there's going to be it seems to be great chemistry with them because Jameis really wants to develop that type of chemistry. I mean, he's even having conversations where we know what type of passes guys like, what they want, what he wants them to do, what they want him to do. And that's good. That's good, conversations between wide receiver and quarterback. That's what you want. You want those guys to be able to be on the same page. Hey, TJ, what do you think about the new GT we just signed? Key Washington, Key Washington, K Washington. I don't know. I have to go back into it, man. I have to see and read a little bit about that, man. I haven't read any of the recent Saints news today. Honestly, I've been, I had a deadline for an article that I had to write for the Who That Dish, so that's been taking up the majority of my day. So I haven't watched nor read any other Saints news. I've been busy trying to write this article that's coming out real soon, man. So y'all be on the lookout for that one. Yes, ball control. They just signed Khalid Washington. Okay, Khalid Washington to a 3-year contract. Well, I'm gonna have to check that out, man. I mean, I want to make sure that I give a fair assessment of the guy. So I have an answer for you with that one on next time. Y'all be telling me things, man. Let me see. Back to the Ricky Williams days. Now I don't think it's gonna be like that where you running the ball that much, but there is gonna be a balance. I will hope there is because there's some talented running backs that can get the job done. You think we need another running back? It wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt. And I don't know what these other guys can do, man. They got some guys in camp. Tony Jones Jr. You got Devon Zigbo coming back, and you got Abram Smith, a guy out of Baylor who everybody's really looking at. So there's some young guys that can go alongside Mark Ingram, be able to hold down a fort if something was to happen to Alvin Kamara. He has his case, his case pending right now. He's supposed to go to court, I want to say in August, for that assault issue that happened in Las Vegas during Pro Bowl weekend. But it wouldn't hurt to have an extra running back on there that can get some reps. And it's probably a good thing that Alvin Kamara nor Mark Ingram is in camp because it's giving these other running backs an opportunity to get some work in, to get some reps. And those were reps they probably wouldn't get if Alvin and Mark was there. So that might be a plus that those guys didn't show up. He trash and run block and pass block trash. Let me see. He trash good and run block and pass. What we talking about here? We talking about Andrews Pete? I don't believe. Nah. If we talking about Andrews Pete, that's not true. That's not true at all. I mean, he's like one of the top run blockers in the game. Like I know people laugh and make fun of him, and he can get bull rush from time to time, but that dude can really run block. He's really good at that. Like that's one thing that he can do well. And I don't think I don't care the biggest critic, that writes about Andrews Pete. I guarantee you each and every one of them say that he's a above average run blocker. Pass protection, he needs some work on. He can get a little bit better with that. But he's like really good at run blocking. Jameis Winston, a bag of crab legs to pump him up. Just joking around. Man, we really got to let that crab leg stuff go, man. We really got to let it go. That's about almost 10 years ago. We got to let that go. I mean, and to be honest with you, I understand the irony, right? I mean, he played for the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans are really known for crawfish and crab legs, the seafood, right? But I guarantee you, if Jameis Winston brings the New Orleans Saints a Super Bowl, I guarantee you they're going to name a crab leg after that man, right? He might have free crab leg for life in the city of New Orleans if he can pull that off. Kevin White. Man, Kevin White is still on the team because of special teams. He made a few plays. Like, I guess I'm trying to find a silver lining, but he's probably there because he played so well on special teams. Go back and look at some of those games where Kevin White was a gunner. Like he was getting down the field, he was down in the ball, he even made some tackles. So it's no surprise to me he's still on the team, but I'm pretty sure if he does make the team, it's going to be on special teams. But he made some plays, man, on special teams, so I ain't going to take that away from him. He probably going to be a special teams player if he makes the team. Carolina Panthers owner files for bankruptcy. Wow. See, if that's true, I ain't hear about that either. Normal guy. Hey, you called him Norm. Let me see. Crab leg is dead. Jameis Winston is alive. Kevin White will sit on a bench. I'm pretty sure he will. Kevin White needs one of those Aaron Rodgers contracts. Boy is a beast and deserves to get paid like a GOAT, basically a modern day T.O. Nah. Top 5 to 10 offense.
Could be possibly if everything goes right, you know. But I mean, as far as Kevin White being a top receiver, all I got to say about that
What
is
you
this,
just
man.
said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Yeah, man. I mean, that wasn't it. I know you probably wanted that Bishop Bullwinkle, but we're gonna switch it up, man. I got too many sound bites over here. Yeah, man. But anyway, let's go over to Bayou Flats. Bayou Flats says this team can go as far as they want if the refs will allow. I don't know, man. I think one of the biggest issues that really ticked us off was the Saints won a lot of nip and tuck games because they couldn't pull away. And look, I love Drew, but a lot of the games that will end up being real close was because Drew Brees couldn't really get that ball down the field to create that kill shot. When the Saints got all the momentum, when the Saints can really, put a cap on the game. Hello, son. Yeah, hold on. But anyway, you got the Pac-Man up here. You want to say hey to everybody? Hey, everybody. All right, say who that? Who that? All right. Yeah, but I think that you're going to start seeing more explosive plays down the field in some of those games where usually it would normally be nip tuck. You're probably not going to see some of those games. So maybe the referees won't be involved, and that's what you want, man. You want to win so decisively that you don't have to look at the referees to call the game right down the middle. I think some of the games probably going to get a little bit out of hand because the Saints offense and how explosive they can be with Jameis Winston as quarterback. With the talent that we have on offense, we should be able to average at least 35 points per game this year to go along with a top 3 defense. I see at least 13 wins and NFC South champs again. Well, if everything goes right, I'm always a wait and see type person. I like the talent. I like the collection of guys, but it gotta work, man. It gotta work. And it gotta be a lot of things that go right. It gotta have the camaraderie. You gotta make sure that the chemistry is straight. You gotta make sure that guys ain't out here with that David Ruffin complex where they think everything is about them, and they're willing to take the back seat if one guy gets hot. If you have that, and if you have a team that's playing for one another, then you'll be just fine. All right. So it takes a lot of things to go right in order for a team to be a true contender. And hopefully everything goes right with the New Orleans Saints, this year. And I'm hoping that. I mean, it looks great on paper, but you got to be able to execute. The middle of the schedule will tell the tale. Yeah. I mean, the Saints got to win a battle of attrition too. I think that was something that really cost them a lot of games last season. All those guys being hurt, all those different combinations of starters. It can be tough. And hopefully they can win that battle because they did not win it last year. And it seemed like everything that could go wrong did go wrong with the New Orleans Saints. So should be interesting to see if the New Orleans Saints can bring it all together. Let me see. Do you think we will sign Lil Jordan? I'm gonna be honest. I don't think so. Not that he's not talented, but I just think that the depth chart of the New Orleans Saints, I don't think he's going to be able to get past it. But the good thing about Lil Jordan is, I feel like Lil Jordan Humphreys is going to make somebody's team. I like the way that he plays. He constantly make plays. He's always a guy that seems to find the ball, and every time he does, he does something well with it. So I just think that the talent of this team might end up making him a casualty. But I think that he has I think he has unlimited potential, and I think that he might end up going to another team. But I think a lot of guys are going to be that way. I mean, you got to think about this, man. You have to believe that when it comes to the wide receiver position, I mean, you got Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry, Chris Olave. That goes without saying. Then you got Callaway and Deontay Hardy. All right, that's 5 guys right there. Okay, if you go with 6, then you know what you're looking at about Traquan or something like that, or you know he might end up like beating out Lil Jordan because he's been there as long as he has, and you know, so this might be one of those situations where he just the odd man out. And I wouldn't want to be on a practice squad at this stage of my career. I mean, what Lil Jordan going into like his 4th season, so if he doesn't make the New Orleans Saints team, it might be like one of those cases where he end up going somewhere else. So if I'm Lil Jordan, I'm trying to put up my best numbers in the preseason where a team can look at me and I can possibly be a first day starter with some other team. He has that type of capability. Now he's not going to, you know, give you 100 yards every game, but he's definitely going to be a contributor to whatever team he ends up going to. But I don't think he's going to make the team. Good afternoon. Will they sign Quan? As long as he's out there, I'm very skeptical that he will get signed by another team, and more than likely they'll probably bring him back. You know, normally teams, you know, try to wait to see what the market is going to be like. I hope that the Saints don't try to lowball this man. You know, hopefully they'll give him a reasonable contract. But Quan Alexander is a talented linebacker, but a guy that has had a history of being injured quite often. You know, I think that teams look at that and it raises a lot of red flags, and they may not want to take that risk. So the Saints will probably be able to take that risk, willing to, because of the 2 seasons that he played with the Saints. He played relatively well. Dennis Allen understands who Quan Alexander is, him being a head coach, being a defensive coordinator last season and the year before that. So it might be a plus for Quan Alexander to make the team. Trey says 100%. I believe in Lil Jordan. Yeah, so do I, man. But man, it's gonna be hard for any of these bottom guys to make the team. You know what I'm saying? Like guys like Lil Jordan, guys like Quan Baker, Easop Winston. You know, if they're making a team, they're gonna have to do something on special teams, and maybe if a guy goes down, then they can bring him back in. Of course, you're gonna have guys on the practice squad, but at this stage, like I said, Lil Jordan is going into his 4th season. Yeah, you will want to have bigger hopes and dreams for yourself than just being a 4-year practice squad guy. You know, and it's not like this dude don't have talent. It's not like this dude can't play. Every time that he plays and you know, he becomes like be on the active roster, he makes a play. Like I don't know why the Saints always put him in street clothes. And for the life of me, I never understood like how Kevin White got to start over Lil Jordan Humphreys. Like you have to believe that was just the ego of Sean Payton. I don't know what it was about Lil Jordan Humphreys. I don't know what it was about the fact that, you know, Sean Payton just refused to give this dude ample playing time. I mean, every time I seen Lil Jordan, you see a 34-yard catch. You see a yards after the catch. You see you know what I'm saying, a back shoulder fade catch in the end zone. Like, I don't understand why this guy wasn't playing. Seemed like you up here trying to make Kevin White work when you should be trying to make a guy like Lil Jordan Humphrey work, because every time he plays, he makes plays. And isn't that what it's supposed to be? But hey, I'm on the outside looking in. I don't know what it's like in everyday life between the Saints organization and Lil Jordan Humphrey. But what I see on the field, I mean, it seems like a guy that needs an opportunity. And hopefully, if the Saints can't give it to him, another team will. But I want to say thank you all for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Really do appreciate it. Thank you all for spending your Friday evening with yours truly. Make sure you hit that like button if you enjoy the content. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com. Search The State of the Saints podcast if you have not already. I have some State of the Saints podcast t-shirts that are still available for those that may be interested in those. I have maybe a few extra larges left and 2Xs, and I want to say maybe like a 3X. So if anybody's interested in purchasing a State of the Saints podcast t-shirt, you can hit me up on Twitter at TJJones8 or on Instagram at TJAYJones_. Let me know, if you're interested, and we'll just go from there. Previous episodes available on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM. And also you can check out some of the articles that I write on Who Dat Dish Manscaped.com. There's a new article that should be coming out really soon. Me talking about 3 guys that I feel that are going to make the Saints depth chart, that are going to make the team. So be on the lookout for that. I wrote that one today. It should be coming out really soon, as well as some of the other articles that I wrote about, some of the guys that I feel like might be long shots for making the team, might not end up making the team, or might find themselves down the depth chart. I have one about Michael Thomas and also one about Chris Olave and Jameis Winston. So make sure y'all check out some of those articles. Let me know what you think. Shouts out to everybody that take the time out to take a look at them. And I really do appreciate that. Till next time, everybody has a good morning, noon, night, whenever you're checking out this podcast. And like always, all I got to say is, who dat?